Hello and welcome to online sommelier course. Well, after some traveling and some COVID infection, here I am again, full power. Okay, um, uh, now it's already time actually for harvest, so I decided to um, make wine with you. Okay, so this lesson will be the vinification. Of course, I will make wine, show you how to do it well in the home production, and I will certainly explain you how the professionals make wine. However, I'm gonna change the view. Okay, so here we go. So the grapes that uh, I'm gonna pick up today is Muscat Hamburg. It's a table grape. Okay, but people make really fantastic rosé, very aromatic wines out of this grape. Now, let me show you something first. You see this blue kind of film on the grape? Okay, this one is not. You see this blue film on the grape? Okay, when you go with a finger like this, that blue film goes off. Actually, that's not the film, that's the natural yeast. You see? So, when grape squeezes, okay, juice goes out, and as you can see, juice is a white, completely transparent. As you can see, it's not red. Why? Because very sweet. Because the color from the skin during the maceration time and fermentation will transfer into the wine, and uh, that's what gives the color to red wine. There are some grape varieties which give the red juice, like Alicant Boucher or maybe Gamay Jus Rouge, but all other grapes, they give transparent or white juice. The color material in the skin that is transferring into the grapes is called anthocyanins in the red wines, in the red grapes, and the flavons in the white ones. Okay, now I'm gonna start doing the harvest. Or obviously, harvesting is harvest going with the scissors. Okay, you see, you clip it. I will take it like this, tuck, and here we go. Okay, now when I take all of these wines, I mean grapes, okay, then then I will make show you what to do next. Here we go. Some people like to start making wine from unwashed grapes because they think that bacteria and everything that the grapes have on it are good for winemaking. I don't like to do that. I like to wash the grapes first, and like that I will also get rid of some yeast, but and bacteria, but mostly I will get rid of spiders, dirt, and things that I really don't want to have in the wine. So after, well, couple of hours of the steaming, I came to the point of crushing. So the washing the grapes actually made these grapes a little bit cooler. Now I'm gonna crush it, and I'm gonna put some sulfur dioxide to prevent the uncontrolled fermentation. And what I'm also going to do, I will put first inside some ice, dry ice. So, and I will leave like that approximately 12 hours on the low temperature to extract as much as possible of the aromas, and to do something that is called anyway cold maceration. That means that wine will be more intense in the aroma, but it won't get really too much color. I will keep this wine, actually this must, together with skin for approximately 3 days. Rosé usually keep for 18 hours. This one, since it's light color skin, you see it's a Muscat Hamburg. It's a kind of red grape variety. I will keep for 3 days, and I will get intense rosé, dark rosé color, something like a Cerasuolo in Italy. This is a 50 kilos barrel, so 40 liters, sorry, barrel. So that means that I have around 20 kilos of grapes, and the crushing I'm gonna not gonna do with my feet or something like that, because my wife is in Puerto Rico, so I don't have a really beauty to step on it. I will just use the paddle, the squeezer, to squeeze the grapes. So here we go. Up to the chaptalization, the percentage of sugar is around 18.5, and considering actually that would be 18.6, because the temperature of the must is 17, almost 18 degrees Celsius. So it means I need to add 0.1. So that would be around, yeah, that would be around 12 point, let me see how it's written here. Yeah, around 12.5, a little bit more. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do, I will prepare the yeast and put the yeast in the must, stir it, and increase and leave it, because the 18 degrees Celsius will be enough to start to make a slow start of the fermentation. And then when if temperature rise too much, then I will have to definitely cool it down. So here we go. I already put some yeast, and it's written here that for 1 hectoliter for the first fermentation, and this is exactly what I need to do. I need to put 20 to 30 grams. Since I have around 20 liters only, 10 grams will be more than enough. And I will put also some food for the yeast. You can see here that yeast already, although I put it just a second ago, yeast started to bubble a little bit. So this yeast is pretty much ready and eager to do fermentation. Okay, let me see about this one. This one says that I should put 10 to 30 grams per hectoliters, and it's also written that it is not allowed more than 60 grams per hectoliter. So I will definitely put something like a half bag of this starter, or it's called activator of the fermentation. This is actually nothing more than the food for the yeast to start to actually make yeast very active. There we go. Okay. Now this is yeah. As you can see, I'll show you this one later on. Those are snails. I decided to make escargot, and those are snails that I caught in my vineyard. Here we go. So what I'm gonna do now, I will stir a little bit. And I can expect fermentation, since temperature is a little bit lower. I can expect fermentation to start like in 12, 13 hours, but we'll see. Maybe it starts even before, depends on the condition of the yeast. However, I will check if fermentation started, and if did, then I will show you how that looks like. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna cover anymore with the lid, but instead I will cover with the cloth. So I'm going to get the clean cloth. So here I am with the clean cloth. I'm gonna put it like that, so if fermentation starts, the CO2 will start going out. I do have window here, and anyway, this is small amount, so the CO2 that this will produce definitely is not gonna affect the atmosphere in this basement, or actually it's not gonna suck the air out. Okay, and now I just want to show you my little treasure. As you can see here, when you catch the snails for the escargot, however you want to make it, I mean for the escargot, either burgundy or bordeaux or whatever, first you need to put them on the net to clean. What that means, they need to cook for 6 days. You see, I have them here, I have them all down. Okay, so they will be ready for cooking tomorrow, and that's exactly what I'm going to do to make a nice and fresh burgundy escargot. So tomorrow they're gonna end up in the butter. In the butter. Dun, 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 in the butter. Okay, so when this fermentation starts, I'm coming to be with you again. Okay, fermentation started, and this is still kind of slow fermentation. You can see foam, but you don't see bubbles, you don't see kind of really active fermentation of the yeast. So since we see bubbles here, we know that underneath this skin that is called cup, that we have CO2. Now this CO2 makes something that's called anaerobic atmosphere, and it is possible that some bacteria, since obviously soon we have CO2, That means that we have fermentation, and that also means that we have some alcohol inside already. That means that some bacteria can, which are anaerobic bacteria that they can connect with the alcohol and acidity and make something that is called ethyl acetate, which is the fault of wine. But the more likely is that underneath this cup we can get transfer of alcohol into this something that's called volatile acid, and that's something that we don't want. So on the first place, this cup can get dry and we don't have maceration, and on the other hand it is dangerous because wine can get spoiled. Now most probably you do see this some on some places like here, the bubbles go out, so that means that fermentation is really active. Okay, this what I'm going to do now is called pigeage. That means that I will push the skin from the top. I will release the CO2 underneath the cup. I will wet the skin, and now this is more likely. We know that we have good fermentation going down, and we also know that this skin will transfer polyphenolics into the wine. Okay, so this pigeage you need to do only, of course, with the red wines, or at the beginning of the process of rosé, if you make rosé this way. But the most common is to make it in the red wine. White wine, as you know, you press the juice straight from the skin and then you start fermentation, so no need for pigeage. But in the white wine you can do some other things like batonnage or something like that. This is steering the lees, but that's a different story. Anyway, later on when I recapitulate the making the wine, I will tell you all about difference in making white and red wine. That's it for now. So, so now I'm trying to strain, to squeeze, and a little bit this wine, because this is already wine actually. So I'm using the normal kitchen strainer, because at this point I don't mind if I have some skin left inside, because that's not gonna be much anyway, and it will be enough. I mean, it will be too little or too few to influence the color. So there we go. Now we have the pure juice. Obviously juice is not clarified yet, that's why it's very blur. But the main point was to get rid of the skin, and as you can see, we have I have now beautiful rosy color, and now it's noticeable the fermentation, as you see these circles, how they are getting out. So in a few days this wine will be ready, because all sugar will be used, and I'm making dry rosé wine. Okay, what did I do with okay, first I will cover this. Here we go. Okay, as you can see, I have some nice roses here. And this is what is left of the pressing, you see. So this skin I will put around the roses, and that will be really fantastic fertilizer for them. Here we go. This is how fermentation is doing today. And this is very good because it's not too active, it's not too fast, it doesn't make really high temperature. So that means that all sugar will be nicely transferred into the alcohol. So the wine is almost finished. As you can see, there is still some fermentation going on, but now it's just a little sugar left, and that's why there is no big foam anymore. So tomorrow morning I will measure the level of sugar in the wine, because this is already wine and it has approximately 10 to 11% of alcohol now. So tomorrow morning I will measure the level of sugar in the wine, and then if there is no sugar, then I will filter the wine and actually transfer the wine. I will put some sulfur dioxide. I will show you that one. Actually, I will put potassium metabisulfite, and then I will leave it for one more day, and then I will put bentonite, because I don't want any more extraction in this wine, because it has a beautiful it has a beautiful red apple aromas and a beautiful floral notes, like a red fruit, like roses. It's really, really beautiful. Now obviously has a lot of influence of yeast too. All right. Okay, so actually the fermentation that we just saw maybe is not a fermentation, maybe it's a malolactic. So to make sure that is not malolactic fermentation, because I need acidity in this wine, I will measure the sugar level in this wine, and as you can see, the bometer, you see, is completely in the wine, which means that there is no sugar left. So if there is no sugar left, that means that malolactic bacteria started to transfer malic acid into the lactic acid, and that's something that I definitely don't want. You see, it's all the way in. So this is now it's 4, 6, 4, 2, and it's supposed to be 0. Exactly. Okay. So I will leave it just for maybe half an hour or 1 hour more, and then I will put the sulfur dioxide. So now I'm gonna stop fermentation. So here I have potassium metabisulfite. I put 1.5 grams, because I have obviously around 10 liters of wine inside. So I mix it well. Okay, now I'm gonna transfer it into the wine. And now I'm gonna stir it. This sulfur dioxide should stop fermentation, while obviously there is some alcoholic and some lactic conversion. And then we'll see if that's not enough, then I will put a little bit more. Anyway, uh, I don't need all this pulp anymore in the wine, because wine has a really nice taste, has a beautiful aroma, has nice acidity. So I will later on put the bentonite to start process of clarification, and after that, every time a wine is transferred, some amount of sulfur dioxide will evaporate from the wine, and that's why I will need to put a little bit more. Here we go. So um, I took some bentonite now for the clarification. So I put, since I have around now 10 liters, I put 9 grams of bentonite. Uh, if you want to clarify the wine during the fermentation, for 100 liters of wine you have to put 20 to 40 grams of bentonite in, as I said, 100 liters. But if you want to clarify the wine, then you need to put 40 to 100 grams per hectoliter per 100 liters. Since I said, as I said, since I have, as I said, around 10 liters, I put 9 grams. This is a bentonite. It's actually the clay. Okay, I put 10 times more water, so it means I put 90 milliliters of water, and I'm gonna leave it to stay like this, like 10 hours, and this bentonite will completely pick up the water, and it will become like a jelly. That jelly will take out some bad aromas, some proteins and things like that, because the positive and negative anions. So the bentonite will collect all these blur things, everything that is foggy, and it will fall on the bottom of the wine. Okay, so tomorrow, after this sucks the water, I will show you how it looks like. So after a few days, as you can see, the wine is pretty clear. Now I'm gonna filtrate it, and then when I filtrate it, you will see how the wine looks like. So there we go. The wine is ready. We got a wine that has 11.5% of alcohol. Has a really beautiful color, um, fantastic aroma, but in like 1 or 2 months, this wine will get its full character in aroma and taste, and then I will this as you can see, the wine is a little bit bluer, so in like a few days, wine will become completely clear, and wine can be drunk already, but in 1 or 2 months it will be really perfect. So there we go. That was the process of making wine. Now I will explain you how the big companies, wineries, make the wine. This is just how you can make wine at home and really enjoy it. So see you later.